Welcome to the Phoenix Police Department's 2020 and 2021 Annual Award Ceremony. Last year, there were many unknowns and challenges with the pandemic, which led us to have to postpone the 2020 award ceremony. I'm glad we can come together in this format to honor our 2020 and 2021 award recipients. I had the honor of congratulating our recipients while presenting them their awards. I want to thank each of them for their hard work and dedication to the job and the community they serve. Behind every award is a story of heroism and kindness in action. Each honoree found in them the spirit of service, the commitment to justice, and a servant's heart. These officers have taken their call to duty above and beyond. During this ceremony, the department is recognizing over 300 awardees. This includes 152 Medals of Life-Saving, 47 Medals of Merit, 17 Medals of Valor, 5 Police Shields, 5 Volunteer Awards, 2 Supervisors of the Year, and 3 groups being recognized with the Police Chief's Unit Award. Finally, the department is posthumously awarding the Medal of Honor to 2 men who lost their lives in the line of duty, Commander Greg Carnicle and Officer Paul Rutherford. Before we move into the ceremony, Mayor Kate Gallego and City Manager Ed Zuercher would like to share their congratulations to the award recipients.
Hello, I'm Phoenix Mayor Kate Gallego, and I want to congratulate our 2020 and 2021 award recipients. Thank you for all you do to make this a stronger city. We appreciate your service. I particularly want to recognize those who are not with us today. Commander Carnicle and Officer Rutherford gave so much to this city. We celebrate their service and we mourn their loss with their families. Today is an emotional event. We celebrate great wins and we remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice. I want to thank those being recognized today, including those who have been injured in the line of duty and those who have gone above and beyond with incredible service to the city of Phoenix. We've had so many great milestones over the last year, including graduating our first class of EMTs and more than 100 lives saved with Narcan. Those are the amazing moments when you know this service matters and that a family has been helped forever. Someone will be able to be at those family moments because a Phoenix police officer saved his life or her life. Thank you for the work you do, for going out there each and every day. It's been a tough year, but an important one, and we want to celebrate the great wins. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Gallego, and all the members of the Phoenix City Council for your leadership. You know, it's been 2 years since we formally gathered to honor the good work of our officers who've gone above and beyond the call of duty. During these unprecedented times, a pandemic changed the way we live. At the same time, policing is undergoing its own necessary changes, making a difficult job even more challenging. But through that challenge, your work shines. Your courage, compassion, and character made a difference in the lives of the people you serve. On behalf of Phoenix employees, thank you for rising to the occasion. Our thanks also to your families who support you in this stressful, demanding, and often dangerous work. And to the loved ones of Officer Paul Rutherford and Commander Greg Carnicle, who will be honored today for their ultimate sacrifice, we offer our heartfelt thanks and condolences. We will never forget their bravery. It's the actions on behalf of our community that we honor today. So again, on behalf of all Phoenix employees, thank you for making Phoenix a better place.
A critical part of our team are the volunteers who donate their time and talents to all aspects of the department. COPS stands for Citizens Offering Police Support. So much of what we do as a police department is carried out by volunteers. These outstanding citizens give of themselves and their time to ensure that we continue to serve and protect while giving back to our community. They serve on advisory boards and neighborhood patrols and precincts and bureaus. They assist with special events and programs. They are leaders, mentors, and deserve our appreciation. Today we will recognize 5 very special volunteers who have donated so much of their time with the COPS Volunteer Excellence Award. To all of our volunteers, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you.
Ms. Jane Pennington has been a dedicated volunteer since 2019. Jane has donated numerous hours to volunteering in our Violent Crimes Bureau and the Family Investigations Bureau. Her regular duties include reviewing past cases, updating files, assisting detectives with follow-up, and reviewing extrication data, to name only a few. She is a mentor and a true asset to the Bureau. For her dedicated service, she is hereby awarded the COPS Volunteer Excellence Award. Ms. Brenda Jones has been a dedicated volunteer since 2018. Brenda has donated numerous hours to volunteering in our Community Engagement Bureau. Her positive attitude and strong work ethic make the Bureau a better one. Her compassion for others sets the example when it comes to serving the staff within our Bureau. For her dedicated service, she is hereby awarded the COPS Volunteer Excellence Award. Mr. Arnold Jern has been a dedicated volunteer since 2014. Arnold has donated numerous hours to volunteering in our Community Engagement Bureau. Volunteering in our MAP Motorist Assist Program unit, his positive attitude and strong work ethic allow our department to truly shine. His compassion for others sets the example for our agency when it comes to serving the community. For his dedicated service, he is hereby awarded the COPS Volunteer Excellence Award. Mr. Dave Smithwick has been a dedicated volunteer since 2015. Dave has volunteered in several areas of the department, to include assisting in Property Management Bureau, various scanning projects, washing and fueling vehicles at precincts, and information processing for NIBIN, just to name a few. He is also a valuable asset in setting up the ACE program's mileage log in the ESAM volunteer database. Dave's great attitude, motivation, and dependability is the perfect example of what a great volunteer should be. For his dedicated service, he is hereby awarded the COPS Volunteer Excellence Award.
One of the greatest things we do in this profession is save another person's life. The Medal of Life Saving is awarded to an employee for an act that results in saving or preserving a human life or lives that otherwise would have immediately expired. Each and every day, amazing Phoenix police officers find themselves in opportunities to impact our community as a whole. Every recipient recognized here was involved in saving a life. Many of these times, officers intervened at risk to their own personal safety in order to save people in life-threatening situations. In each case, the actions of these officers either saved or significantly prolonged the life of a citizen who otherwise may have perished. Please join me in recognizing all the recipients of the Medal of Life Saving.
Officer Nicholas Espinoza, 2 Medals of Life Saving. Officer Juan Fernandez, 2 Medals of Life Saving. Officer Michael Leone, 2 Medals of Life Saving. Officer Stephen Schoon. Officer Anthony Barker. Officer Rachel Rocole. Officer Adam Bronovitz. Officer Erwin Thompson. Officer Brian Othment. Officer Christopher Espinoza. Officer Cody Norton. Sergeant Kenneth Barton. Officer Larry Sanchez. Officer Joshua Ankert. Officer David Hines. Officer Cliff Lewis. Officer Matthew Tate. Officer Santino Celzo. Sergeant James Grote. Officer Joel Ring. 2 medals of life-saving. Officer Christopher Martinez. 2 medals of life-saving. Officer Richard McKnight. Officer Troy Bullock. Officer Tyler Luna. Officer Cody Pont. Officer Antonio Furno. Officer Kevin Lucas. Officer Brandon Von Holten. Officer Sean Muniz. Officer Seth Fretheim. Officer Jeffrey Middleton. Officer Brendan Medina. Officer Risa Magnuson. Officer Alexandra Stockdale. Officer Gary Grozkopf. Officer Jesus Castillo. Officer Noah Briggs.
Hi, it's April Warnicki and the gals from Good Morning Arizona. I wanted to say congratulations to all the award winners and thank you to all of you for everything that you do.
And I'm Tess Raffles. We always appreciate your service to the community, making sure we are all safe. Congratulations, well-deserved honors for all of you.
Hardest job in this community and goes underappreciated. So huge thank you. I'm Olivia. You guys and women are part of Arizona's family, no doubt about it, and also part of my family too. You guys know I fell in love with my husband when he was in a police uniform. And also shout out to my brother-in-law, Lieutenant in Phoenix Police Department, Chris Boyle. So congratulations to the honorees and thank you so much for all you do.
The Medal of Merit is presented to an employee for an act of courage and dedication to duty during the performance of a police service that involves significant risk or danger to one's personal safety. The Medal of Merit honorees took heroic actions to protect life and property. Our community is lucky that these honorees were in the right place at the right time and knew exactly what needed to be done. We are truly grateful and proud to honor each of them today with the Medal of Merit.
On December 14, 2019, officers responded to emergency traffic of a tractor-trailer truck that was involved in an accident on I-10 freeway and fell 40 feet to the ground below. As officers arrived, they noticed the truck laying on its passenger side and the driver hanging upside down from the seatbelt in the driver's seat. As flames shot up from the engine block, officers noticed spilled fuel, and Officer Bryant retrieved a fire extinguisher from his vehicle and attempted to extinguish the engine fire so the driver could be rescued. With the smell of natural gas or diesel fuel still in the air, officers were concerned of a potential explosion. Sergeant Sylvie ordered the driver be extricated and moved to a safe location. Officer Calandra entered the passenger compartment through the broken windshield and cut the driver free from the seatbelt. Officers Calandra, Bryant, Kittle, Overly, and Sergeant Sylvie carried the driver a safe distance away so firefighters could provide medical attention. Knowing full well they were exposing themselves to risk of personal injury, they displayed courage and dedication to duty in their preservation of human life. Their actions are in keeping with the highest standards of the Phoenix Police Department. They are hereby awarded the Medal of Merit. Officer Nick Calandra. Officer Timothy Kittle. Sergeant Brian Sylvie. Officer Robert Bryant. Officer Jeffrey Kalisak was working off duty in the area of 100 East Jefferson when he came in contact with a man who had been crossing barriers and was getting close to an open pit. He requested assistance from patrol to remove the man from the area. When Officer Kalisak was released from this off-duty job and was walking to his vehicle, he noticed the man had returned to the area. The man was angry, confrontational, and holding a shovel in his two hands, demanding to know who made him leave. Officer Kalisak drew his weapon as the man screamed and attempted to strike him with the shovel. Officer Kalisak gave him clear commands and created distance between himself and the suspect. The suspect threw the shovel, but Officer Kalisak was able to avoid being hit, and he transitioned to his taser, a less lethal option. With backup on the way, the suspect continued to approach him in a menacing way, again with the shovel. Pedestrians and workers were cleared out of the way as Officer Kalisak repositioned himself to a clear backdrop for a potential lethal force encounter. As commands were still given to de-escalate the situation, additional officers arrived and deployed a stun bag, pepper balls, and a taser with no effect on the subject, who was still holding on to the shovel. Officers repositioned and a taser was again deployed, and they were able to quickly take the suspect into custody. Officer Kalisak showed incredible restraint and professionalism under pressure. His actions are in keeping with the highest standards of the Phoenix Police Department. He is hereby awarded the Medal of Merit. On September 24, 2019, Phoenix police officers responded to 10002 North 7th Street after a male called to report his adult son repeatedly stabbed him and his wife. The caller further reported his wife was bleeding severely while the suspect was still inside the home. Officers Norton and Go were the first units to arrive on scene and were able to quickly extract the father and bring him to the Phoenix Fire Department for treatment and transport. The father was found to have multiple stab wounds to various parts of his body. The additional officers arrived on scene and were able to contact the mother through a rear window. However, they determined they were unable to extract her through this window. The officers conducted a crisis entry and found the mother to be severely wounded with stab wounds to various parts of her body. The officers carried her out of the home and brought her to the Phoenix Fire Department, who immediately transported her to the hospital. The suspect was later taken into custody and booked on 2 counts of attempted homicide. It was later learned the mother underwent immediate emergency surgery to repair a pulmonary artery laceration as well as an injury to her liver. Medical professionals indicated the mother's injuries were life-threatening upon her arrival to the hospital. The officers placed themselves in harm's way with their rapid response and courageous intervention, which led to the saving of both victims' lives. The officers' actions are in keeping with the highest standards of the Phoenix Police Department. They are hereby awarded the Medal of Merit and the Medal of Life-Saving. Officer Ruben de los Rios. Officer Gabriel Marquez. On May 9, 2018, Special Assignments Unit personnel responded to the Circle K at 1849 West Grant Street to support patrol who had responded to an armed robbery which progressed to a hostage situation. SAU teams arrived on scene and established immediate actions teams and prepared for a crisis entry. SAU personnel established communications with the suspect and could see a victim lying on the floor inside and unresponsive. As a plan was established, corporate security for Circle K played back footage from the incident and confirmed the victim seen on the ground was previously shot in the head by the suspect. The Tactical Support Bureau chain of command determined a sniper-initiated hostage rescue would be conducted to rescue the victim on the ground and the additional hostage inside. SAU snipers initiated simultaneous shots at the suspect, who then retreated behind the counter. Entry was made into the store and the suspect appeared from behind the counter while making threats and reaching for his waistband. SAU personnel engaged the suspect and neutralized the threat as additional officers rescued the hostage and injured victim on the ground. Although the injured victim did not survive, SAU personnel displayed a dedication to duty and disregarded their own safety to rescue the hostages and bring a violent incident to a conclusion before any other victims were harmed. The officers' actions are in keeping with the highest standards of the Phoenix Police Department. They are hereby awarded the Medal of Merit. Lieutenant Eric Miner. Officer Alastair Morrison. Sergeant Ramel Kolkla. Officer Justin Walker. Officer Kyle Frick. Officer Lisa Fisher. On February 4th, 2020, officers responded to a Chase Bank reference an emergency call of a subject threatening to blow up the bank with a bomb. The subject walked into the bank and told employees he had a bomb and wanted his money. When officers arrived, Officer Carpena and Sergeant Richards took position at the rear teller door, and Officer Cole and Sergeant Stansbury took position at the main door. Officer Carpena and Sergeant Richards entered the bank to gain a view of the interior, allowing Sergeant Richards to coordinate with responding units. As the suspect exited the office and walked toward the main entrance, Officer Carpena saw that the suspect had a silver handgun sticking out of his front right pocket. Sergeant Richards notified units at the front door that the suspect was armed and attempting to leave the bank. After a few minutes of communication with the suspect, he left the bank through the front doors. Sergeant Stansbury and Officer Cole were giving commands, but the suspect ignored all commands and stepped to the right of the door. Officers used small team tactics to prevent the suspect's movement. Officer Sarger fired 3 rounds from his stun bag, striking the suspect, but the suspect turned and ran around the corner of the bank towards Cactus Road. 1 more stun bag round was fired, and the suspect stopped and was taken into custody. The use of communication, small team tactics, and less lethal weapons proved successful in the apprehension of this violent suspect. The actions of these officers are in keeping with the highest standards of the Phoenix Police Department. They are hereby awarded the Medal of Merit. Sergeant Brian Richards. Sergeant Gregory Stansbury. Officer Anson Sarger. Officer Hector Carpena.
Hi, I'm Mike Broomhead. Just wanted to take a moment to thank all of you for the work you do for the city of Phoenix. I'm from a law enforcement family, so I understand the dedication it takes to be a police officer and the commitment to your job and your community. There's no way I'm able to do the job I do without you being willing to do what you do. I will always defend you on the air, but I will never forget that it's your hard work every single day that makes it safe for me to do my job, and I will echo that all over the place whenever I can. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for the work you do, but especially for the way you do it. You are the most professional agency in the entire country. I'm proud to say that I live in Phoenix, and you're a big part of that reason, so thank you so much.
The Medal of Valor is awarded to an employee for a conspicuous act of valor during the performance of a police service that involves risk of life and knowledge of that risk. The act clearly delineates valor from other forms of courage and is above and beyond the call of duty. Each of the honorees are deserving of this award. Every officer in law enforcement will encounter an array of situations in their career, each one more unique than the last. But our next group of honorees can truly say they encountered the call of their lifetime. Despite life-threatening conditions, these officers rose to the challenge. Today, we honor each of them with the Medal of Valor.
On October 11, 2018, Officer Daniel Colburn and Officer Samson Fry responded to a call of a suicidal subject at Interstate 17 and Camelback Road. The call stated a young woman was undressing and trying to jump off the overpass. Once arrived, officers saw the young woman and several men on the wrong side of the safety fence of the overpass, the men holding the woman, preventing her from falling. Officers Fry and Colburn were able to climb and wedge themselves between the freeway sign and concrete overpass to switch places with the men and allowed the Good Samaritans to return to safety. The officers were able to hold onto the woman as the men used ropes to help the officers hold on. Officer Skylar Taima, Officer Silvio Chobanu, and Officer Chris Johnson arrived and held onto the ropes until the fire department arrived. The actions of these officers are in keeping with the highest standards of the Phoenix Police Department. The woman was safely removed from the overpass. Officer Daniel Colburn and Officer Samson Fry are hereby awarded the Medal of Valor and the Medal of Life Saving for their actions. Officer Skylar Taima, Officer Silvio Chobanu, and Officer Chris Johnson are hereby awarded the Medal of Life Saving for their actions. On August 27, 2018, officers responded to emergency traffic of shots fired in the area of 3900 West Anderson Drive. Prior to their arrival, details of the call changed, and there were 1 or 2 people who had been shot by an unknown subject. As officers turned onto Anderson Drive, they noticed a male standing a few houses down the block. The male started shooting at officers with an AR-15 style rifle, striking the patrol car. Officers exited the vehicle, still being fired upon, and took cover behind an SUV. The male ran out of ammunition with the rifle and pulled out a handgun and continued to advance on officers. Officers exchanged close-quarter gunfire with the male, ending the threat. Additional units arrived and were able to assist the original 2 victims, who sustained gunshot wounds. Their quick response and sound tactics are exceptional examples of the highest quality of service and dedication to duty. Their efforts are in keeping with the highest standards of the Phoenix Police Department. They are hereby awarded the Medal of Valor. Officer Lindsay Schultz. Officer Nicholas Espinoza. On April 7, 2020, officers responded to a shots fired call in the area of 3600 East McDowell Road, where the caller described a subject that was found to have a gunshot wound to the abdomen. Witnesses approached officers and led them to an apartment where shots had been fired and bullet holes were located in the walls. With the bunker in hand, officers attempted to contact the unknown occupant of the apartment. Sergeant Wesley recognized that there weren't any shell casings on the ground. He believed whatever took place occurred inside the apartment. The decision was made to breach the door to look for additional victims. Officer Barrios held the bunker, and Sergeant Wesley, utilizing the ram, made partial entry into the apartment, but a gunshot victim was preventing full access to the apartment. Officers observed another male laying in the corner, and he was ordered to exit the apartment. This male victim informed officers that the shooter was still inside the apartment. Sergeant Wesley and Officers Barrios and Wilson continued to yell commands while Officer Bronovitz provided cover. Sergeant Fan and Officer Albrand began evacuating residents as Officer McGeehee gathered information from the male victim. Officers located the remaining occupant, calmed the subject down, and they were able to take him into custody. The weapon was located in the apartment. Their dedication to duty, patience, and tactics while attempting to locate additional victims are in keeping with the highest standards of the Phoenix Police Department. They are hereby awarded the Medal of Valor. Sergeant 2 Fan. Officer Salvador Cienez. Officer Aaron Albrand. Officer Kevin Wilson. Officer Joseph McGeehee. Sergeant Michael Wesley. Officer Adam Bronovitz.
First, let me congratulate all of this year's award recipients. You are out there every day doing amazing work protecting and serving our community. And on behalf of the Phoenix Police Foundation, our board of directors, and all of our supporters, I'd like to personally thank each and every one of you for what you do. Stay safe, keep up the good work, and we're proud of you.
Our next award is the Police Shield. This medal is awarded to an employee who, during the performance of a police service, sustained significant injury or whose treatment requires prolonged medical attention. Their service goes far beyond the end of their shift, and they, along with their families and close friends, carry with them the sacrifices they made for their community.
On August 16, 2018, at approximately 8 p.m., Officer Adrian Cruz was on patrol when he observed a vehicle driving erratically near Cave Creek Road and Cactus Road. Officer Cruz activated his overhead lights and siren to obtain the attention of the driver. The vehicle stopped in the middle of Cactus Road. After approaching the vehicle, Officer Cruz observed a muzzle flash, heard the glass window break, and felt a bullet strike him. As Officer Cruz retreated to cover, he was struck by another bullet. The suspect exited the vehicle, moved across the street, and continued to fire at Officer Cruz. Once the backdrop was clear, Officer Cruz was able to return fire, ending the threat. When Officer Daniel Smith and Officer Christopher Grease arrived, they provided cover for Officer Cruz and were able to take the suspect into custody. Officer Alan Nosal and Officer Charles Allen began rendering aid to Officer Cruz, recognizing he had a sucking chest wound and administered an occlusive dressing over the wound. The actions of these officers are in keeping with the highest standards of the Phoenix Police Department. Officer Cruz sustained significant injuries and yet was able to remain in the fight and end the threat to the public. Officer Adrian Cruz is hereby awarded the Police Shield and the Medal of Valor. For their teamwork and disregard to their own personal safety, Officer Daniel Smith and Officer Christopher Grease are hereby awarded the Medal of Merit. For the life-saving measures performed on Officer Cruz, Officer Alan Nosal, and Officer Charles Allen are hereby awarded the Medal of Life-Saving. On November 2, 2019, Officer Chad Estelle, working as a Special Assignments Unit operator, was participating in a sniper-initiated hostage rescue operation at a home near 28th Street and Atlanta Avenue. The suspect was holding family members at gunpoint and fired shots at patrol and canine officers who were attempting a crisis entry. After some time, the Special Assignments Unit initiated a hostage rescue mission. The initial sniper shot was not successful, and the suspect began firing 2 handguns in all directions in the home. A front and rear team entered the home, and both were met with gunfire from the suspect. The front team engaged in an exchange of gunfire with the suspect. Officer Estelle, with the rear team, was struck with a round in the jaw through his gas mask. He self-extricated and was transported to the hospital, where he underwent extensive emergency surgery. Officer Estelle demonstrated courage and bravery and put himself in a position of danger for the benefit of his team and the victims. As a result of his selfless acts during this violent incident, he was injured severely and deals with the repercussions to this day. Through his perseverance, he returned to full duty as a team leader of the SAM 53 squad of the Special Assignments Unit. Officer Chad Estelle's actions are in keeping with the highest standards and traditions of the Phoenix Police Department, and he is hereby awarded the Police Shield.
Hi, I'm Iris Hermosillo.
And I'm Kaylee O'Kelly. We're with ABC 15 Mornings, and we just want to right out of the gate say thank you so much for what you do for our community.
Absolutely, and congratulations to all of the award recipients tonight. You know, we work in this community, we live in this community, we're raising families here too, and we are just so grateful for all of your hard work and dedication.
I can't think of a better place to live than right here in Phoenix, Arizona, and so much of that has to do with you. You make us feel safe, and we have to thank your families as well, because we know you sacrifice so much. You worry, obviously, when your loved ones go out there to protect us. Thank you for that.
The Police Chiefs Unit Award is presented for the successful completion of a predetermined police-related on-duty act or acts, or continuing effort or efforts by a group of employees working for a common objective. During this ceremony, the department is recognizing 3 units for their hard work and dedication.
During fiscal year 2018 to 2019, the Employment Services Bureau operations, recruitment, polygraph, and administrative units of the Phoenix Police Department faced significant challenges in hiring the number of police recruits necessary to meet the needs of the department. Together, they worked to overcome these challenges and were able to double the amount of new background packets received each month. This ultimately led to the department surpassing its hiring goal of 300 new recruits or lateral officers, ending the fiscal year with 315 individuals hired. The actions of the employees in the Employment Services Bureau are in keeping with the highest standards and traditions of the Phoenix Police Department. They are hereby awarded the Police Chiefs Unit of the Year Award. Patty Johnson. Judy Padilla. Dennis Trujillo. Victor Bell. Dave Moore. Daniel Lobato. Brady Lee. Billy Wingo. Detective Jeffrey Francetic. Detective Jared Bull. Commander Darren Viner. Lieutenant Mark Tovar. In 2014, the Safety Unit began creating a curriculum to better address the real-life first aid needs of our community and sworn personnel as disastrous events impacted our safety. Events like the Tucson shooting, Aurora Theater shooting, Boston Marathon bombing, and the rise of opioid overdoses brought attention to the expectation of a better response to those who needed medical aid. The Safety Unit implemented a curriculum for skills related to tourniquets, gauze, chest seals, Narcan, and other devices shown to save lives. In 2020, additional development was made to the Medical Intervention Program with the first EMT class to graduate from Phoenix Police. The impact to saving lives by these changes have been incredible. 204 lives saved by tourniquets and more than 104 lives saved with Narcan. The actions of the men and women in the Safety Unit exemplify the dedication to providing critical services to our community during their hour of need, and therefore, they are hereby awarded the Police Chief's Unit of the Year Award. Sergeant David Jordan. Stephanie Larson. Robert Ward. Danielle Nguyen. Peter Leishamanon. Detective Matthew Scouten. Detective Jeffrey Ballantyne. From January 2017 to October 2018, the community around the area of 2400 to 3700 East Van Buren was affected by violent crime, property crime, and organized crime generated by a criminal syndicate enterprise. The locations utilized by the syndicate were all operating out of hotels within that area. The crime was so violent that it was dubbed the deadliest square mile in Maricopa County by the Arizona Republic. Officers from the Mountain View Precinct Resource Team began a partnership with Phoenix Police Gang Unit, Drug Enforcement Bureau, HEAT, Neighborhood Services, Maricopa County Attorney, and Department of Public Safety to address the quality of life and to combat the criminal activity. This partnership grew into the investigation known as Operation No Vacancy. Through the investigation, detectives found that the syndicate had laundered nearly $7.9 million through the hotels. This teamwork resulted in 6 search warrants, multiple arrests, and nearly a $1 million seizure in tangible assets. Operation No Vacancies' success is due to the diligence, dedication, and perseverance of these employees to extricate a powerful criminal syndicate from the Mountain View Precinct community. The actions of all involved are in keeping with the highest standards of the Phoenix Police Department. They are hereby awarded the Police Chief's Unit of the Year Award. Detective Gabriella Westfall. Sergeant Robert Neville. Officer Drew Loper. Officer Teresa Augustine. Officer Jacob Skinner. Officer Jason Mendoza. Officer Jared Sherman. Officer Joseph Brill. Officer Benjamin Harris. Amy Goodman. Stephanie Flores. Sergeant Sebastian Lewisoder. Officer Francisco Barrios. Officer Jeremy Ennis. Officer Adam Branham. Officer Ryan Barrett. Officer Brandon Wright. Officer Harry Dodd. Officer Manuel Abeta. Officer Stephen Nix. Officer Calvin Martin. Officer David Kwan. Lieutenant Brian Milhone. Lieutenant Jeffrey Fields. Commander Nicholas DePonzio. Commander Anthony Vasquez.
Hello everyone, I'm Roy Green of the Arizona Cardinals. I just want to say this evening, thank you so much for what you do for my community. We really appreciate the effort that you give, the way you make it so that we can be safe as we go to bed at night. I know I, as well as your family, really loves and appreciates you. So all the wives and girlfriends, kids, whomever your relationship is with the officer out there, reach over right now, give him a kiss, a hug, or a handshake, and tell him how much you appreciate him, because I sure do. The Arizona Cardinals and the Phoenix Police Department, my two favorite teams.
The award for Supervisor of the Year is presented to the supervisor who exemplifies countless examples of excellence and exceptional dedication to leadership that has a profound effect on the officers assigned to them. On June 17, 2020, Lieutenant Eric Miner responded to a domestic violence call where the victim had to surreptitiously call 911 and beg for help on an open line. The victim was heard screaming and pleading with her boyfriend to not shoot her. Lieutenant Miner drew from his experience and calmly created a plan to rescue the victim. With additional shots being fired and screams for help being heard, Lieutenant Miner assembled his team and made entry on the apartment. Additional gunshots rang out and identified the armed suspect's location in the apartment. Lieutenant Miner briefed the team on risks and possible gunfire they may face when the door is breached. As Lieutenant Miner breached the door, they were met with gunfire. The team was able to address the threat and rescue the victim uninjured. Lieutenant Miner led his team with courage and calmness that ensured the successful resolution to this critical incident. His actions are in keeping with the highest standards of the Phoenix Police Department. He is hereby awarded the Supervisor of the Year Award. In September 2018, Sergeant Guillermo Memo Arubula was assigned to the Community Engagement Squad within the Community Relations Bureau. Sergeant Arubula was tasked with leading and expanding the Community Engagement Team programs and partnerships. On a limited budget and a squad of 5 officers, he went to work. Through his non-traditional ideas, he was able to lead and expand many of the community programs to include the Citizens Offering Police Support, Virtual Block Watch, Citizen Police Academy, education, and partnership with various refugee centers. He was able to balance incoming community requests that were not normally handled by the Bureau and supervisory responsibilities. With positive feedback from the community, Sergeant Arubula was able to grow and expand additional programs such as the Accessibility Compliance Enforcement and Motor Assist programs, and offered much needed support to patrol. New programs were also developed, Probation to Reinvention, where he partnered with Maricopa County Juvenile Probation Office to reach at-risk youth through officer mentors. He also introduced the Success with Effort and Training fitness program at a local high school, as well as a 90-day drug rehabilitation program at the Maricopa County Reentry Center. This program helped to tear down walls and build trust and positive relationships within the community. The phenomenal leadership and dedication Sergeant Arubula has provided to the department and his officers is what has defined him as an exceptional leader. He is hereby awarded the Supervisor of the Year Award.
We have reached our final award, the highest honor given to any Phoenix police officer, the Medal of Honor. This honor is reserved for officers who have lost their lives in the line of duty. On March 21st, 2019, Officer Paul Rutherford and Officer Lance Miller were investigating a minor vehicle collision at 7600 West Indian School Road when an emergency call of a man with a gun was broadcasted just north of them at a strip mall. Officer Rutherford responded on foot. While crossing Indian School Road, Officer Rutherford was struck by a vehicle traveling eastbound. He was seriously injured by the collision and did not survive his injuries. The Phoenix Police Department is proud to posthumously bestow upon Officer Paul Rutherford the Medal of Honor. Paul's wife and son, Jocelyn and Chris, are here to accept the award on Paul's behalf. On March 29, 2020, at approximately 1:20 p.m., officers responded to a residence in the area of 23,800 North 40th Drive for a civil matter standby. The first 2 responding officers spoke with the suspect for an extended period asking him to leave. However, the suspect refused and barricaded himself inside of the residence. Officers Alicia Hubert, Marissa Dowen, Davis Hart, Sergeant Charles Lambert, and Lieutenant Vince Lewis responded to assist with the incident. After the arrival of these officers, Commander Greg Carnicle arrived on scene. Commander Carnicle spoke with Lieutenant Lewis, and Commander Carnicle decided to enter the residence with Officers Hubert, Dowen, Hart, and Sergeant Lambert. Once inside of the residence, verbal contact was made with the suspect, who continued to ignore the requests of the involved officers. The suspect remained upstairs, and Commander Carnicle walked up the stairs, followed by Officers Hubert, Dowen, Hart, and Sergeant Lambert. The suspect emerged from his room and began shooting, striking Commander Carnicle and Officers Dowen and Hubert. Officer Hart returned fire and provided cover as Lieutenant Lewis, Sergeant Lambert, and Officer Derek Parks extracted the 3 injured officers to safety. All 3 were then transported to a local hospital where tragically, Commander Carnicle succumbed to his injuries. The Phoenix Police Department is proud to posthumously bestow upon Commander Greg Carnicle the Medal of Honor. Greg's wife, Ann Carnicle, is here to accept the award on Greg's behalf. During this incident, officers were shot and injured, ran toward danger, and saved lives. Those involved in this tragic incident are being recognized for their actions that day. Officer Alicia Hubert and Officer Marissa Dowen are awarded the Police Shield. Sergeant Charles Lambert is awarded the Medal of Valor and the Medal of Life Saving. Lieutenant Vince Lewis and Officer Davis Hart are awarded the Medal of Valor. Sergeant Jeremy Fiola is awarded the Medal of Merit. Officer Ronald Gilpatrick is awarded the Medal of Merit and the Medal of Life Saving. Also, during this incident, communications operator Shiloh Matthews showed tremendous fortitude by remaining calm under extreme stress while responding to the heavy weight of radio traffic. She is hereby awarded the Certificate of Recognition for her actions. The following officers were unable to attend the award ceremony. Officer Derek Parks is awarded the Medal of Valor and the Medal of Life Saving. And awarded the Medal of Merit are Sergeant Robert McKinney, Officer Jonathan Caserta, Officer Tyler Esterline, Officer Joshua Freer, Officer Gage Quintana, Officer Marsalis Smith, Officer Guadalupe Rodriguez, and Officer Lance Wisuri. The Phoenix firefighters who responded to assist in this tragic situation calmly performed advanced life-saving measures during extreme chaos in an effort to save Commander Carnicle's life, and they provided medical attention to Officers Dowen and Hubert to prevent further physical damage. They are hereby awarded the Certificate of Recognition for their actions.
We will never forget Paul and Greg, or the sacrifices they made. It was my honor to present their wives with their medals of honor. My thoughts are with the Rutherford and Carnicle families as they continue to mourn the loss of their loved one. Once again, I want to congratulate all of our award recipients and thank you for all the amazing work you do. You serve the City of Phoenix with pride and are making positive impacts on the community every day. I am proud to be wearing this uniform alongside of you. Thank you to the Police Foundation and their sponsors for their yearly support of our ceremony.